As an NBA fan, you need to ask yourself this question. Are you taking what we are witnessing for granted? Welcome to the Daily Thing, where we talk about theology and basketball. This week in the NBA has been incredible. It's been a fun time to be an NBA fan. We saw Joel Embiid give us 70 points. We saw Cat give us 62, even though he lost. We saw Booker give us 62, even though he lost. And we saw Luka give us 73 points. And let me not forget to mention this. We saw the game of the year, Saturday night, LeBron versus Curry, Golden State versus the Lakers. We saw D'Lo almost blow the game with, we can say, 3 turnovers in a row. One of them wasn't a turnover, but he almost blew it. He came down, hit this amazing 3 in the clutch, but it was just a great game overall. We saw LeBron at the age of 39 give us 20 rebounds, 36 points, 12 assists. We saw Stephen Curry become clutch when it's time to be clutch and deliver when it's time to deliver, but they still lost. But back to the NBA scoring, it has been ridiculous. Last season, we saw at least 25 people averaging 20 points per game, which is just mind blowing to see. We didn't see that in the early 2000s. We didn't see that in the 2010s, but now scoring is just going out the roof. And the question is being asked, are players just too skilled nowadays? You can't leave a player on an island, and you cannot leave a defender on an island to defend for himself against a guy like Luka, Shea, Steph, LeBron, KD, you name it, Devin Booker. You have to send 2 guys or maybe 3 to slow down the players today. Or are teams just horrible on defense and the defensive schemes just suck? Okay, I want to know that too. Because when I watch the games, I'm like, man, if they can change up the defense just a little bit, if you cannot go under that screen against Stephen Curry, if you cannot go under that screen against Devin Booker, if you cannot just always anticipate switch, maybe somebody wouldn't get 73 points. But I don't want to nitpick. I don't want to be the guy who say, hey, man, the NBA is soft, it's weak. The players now, they are just extremely skilled, even though sometimes I'm like, that's not taking any skill. That right there is just horrible defense, dude. You have to step up, or you have to bring help to the left side. But anyway, as an NBA fan, I am enjoying this, and it's just incredible to watch. I don't know if we will see this again in our lifetime. Maybe we will. Maybe scoring might just get up and up and up and up and up as the years go on. But think about this. Luka can have had 80 points, 90 points, and we will see somebody score 100 in the next 3 or 4 years. I guarantee you that somebody will post 100 ball within the next 3 or 4 years. But I want to take a look at least one play from Luka's game, Booker's game, Cat's game, and Embiid's game, and see, man, did the defense just suck, or did Devin Booker, Luka, Cat, and Embiid just get tough buckets after tough bucket after tough bucket? And one thing that before I even get to that, I want to mention this. When Devin Booker and the Phoenix Suns played the Indiana Pacers, it was a moment that a lot of us forgot that happened. And that made me realize that today's game is so far ahead of what we are used to watching. We are so desensitized. We are so used to greatness and seeing amazing dunks, amazing 3-pointers, and just amazing basketball in general that we don't even bat an eye when we see somebody go between the legs in a game. And this is not the first time Obi Toppin went between the legs in a game. He went between the legs in a game. Think about that. If that was the early 2000s or the 2010s, or in the 90s, the dude would have been on the front of the newspaper. I know sometimes nowadays people don't read newspapers, but he would have been buzzing everywhere. It would have broke, quote unquote, the internet, even though it was no internet, no social media like that back then. But think about that. OP Toppin goes between the leg and we don't even bat an eye. It's like, he went between the legs. So what? Our expectations are so enormous now for these players. They have to do things outside the box for us just to appreciate it. Now, enough of that. Let me get to looking at just a couple of these plays. Okay, Luka.
You are getting it, and you are getting a show, a very
First of all,
memorable
why is Clint
show.
Capella?
You are getting it, and you
Why
are
did he
getting a
switch?
show, a
You didn't
very
have to switch. That was
memorable.
not a real screen. That was not a real screen. I repeat, somebody let me know. Was that a real screen? That wasn't a real screen at all. You could have fought through that fake screen because he didn't even set a screen. It wasn't stationary. You just said switch, and you just switch, and now you let Capella, a guy who we know cannot guard out there, guard Luka. And Luka is probably the best guard or the best guy to go against a 5-man in the league. He is going to score. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. His right hand, his left side, and now Trae Young is helping. We know Trae Young is so small. Luka at 6'7", 6'8", 230. It's just a nightmare for a guy like Trae Young when he sees somebody like Luka. There's no stopping him. You have to help. And it's supposed to be help right there. You have two people in the paint, and these two guys are just standing there. Okay. Nobody has committed yet to Luka. Make Luka a passer. Let Luka have 100 assists or 20 assists or 30 assists. But the help defense, oh, just lay it up. You turned your head. Oh, just lay it up. Just have a free layup. That is insane. Just look at that. Look at this. That is horrible defense. That does not scream skill, 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 skill. That screams no effort, no effort, no effort, no effort, no effort whatsoever. Let's go to Embiid. Embiid right here is posting up Zach Collins and calling for the ball. Seems like some help is about to come. Let's see. Well, nope, no help. Just too easy right here. And that's a foul. Like, come on. And I say this all the time. NBA players are not soft. The refs are the ones who make the game appear soft because they call ticky-tack fouls like this for Embiid. That's not a foul at all. Zach Collins is like 600 pounds less, weighs 600 less pounds than Joel Embiid. And you call a foul for that. It wasn't even really a contest. I can't say it's a tough bucket. It's just not a foul. And I don't think that's something that should be called in an NBA game. That should not be called in an NBA game. Screen and pop. Okay. Double. Okay, that's good. Send a double. Make him get a tough bucket. That's a tough bucket. That is a tough bucket. I live with that all day. That is a tough bucket. And no, you don't always have to get tough buckets for me to appreciate it or for fans to appreciate it. But man, sometimes when you just let these dudes just have a layup line, it gets irritating, man. Especially when somebody do it against my team, okay? The Lakers. It's very irritating. Okay, let's go to Devin Booker, walking the ball up the court. Okay, look at that. Get through the screen. Okay, I like it. It was another screen. He was expecting to switch. Nobody switch. You went under a little bit. Now Devin Booker just has an easy 3-point shot. Easy. Not contested. Not contested. He got through the first screen. Like right here. And he's just walking. Got through the first screen. It's supposed to switch right there. Somebody's supposed to switch. He's expecting you to switch right now. And you don't. And you don't. And you don't. And that's just a knockdown shot. Just easy walk-in 3 for Booker. Okay, that's tough. That's creative. I like that. That's tough. That's a tough bucket too. That's definitely a tough bucket. This is insane. Like we will never ever see. Like this is crazy. I never thought I'll be able to see a big on a 3-point line walking into a 3-point shot like this. Just the liberty of that big men have today. It wasn't present in the early 2000s or in the 90s or in the 2010s. Just the oh my goodness, the liberty, the freedom that you have to do whatever you can do, whatever you want on the court. And of course, you have to have skill to knock down this 3-point shot, and he has it. But man, just the way the game has changed, just so much freedom and spacing. Look at that. big and shooting this deep. It's fair to say that players today are extremely skilled. Yes, they are. They are more skilled than their predecessors, than the 90s, than the 80s, than the 2000s, than the 2010s. But we must say this, the defensive schemes in the NBA today just switch if somebody comes near you is just so laughable to me, and it gets you in so much trouble. That's why AD was getting cooked by Stephen Curry on Saturday night because of switches. Jared Vanderbilt didn't want to fight through many of those screens that Draymond Green was setting. Like, okay, let's get Anthony Davis back on him. I know Anthony Davis plays some good defense every now and then, but when it came down to the clutch, how Steph forced overtime, the switch on Anthony Davis. Jared Vanderbilt didn't have to switch, but he did. And I think that has to do with being lazy on defense at times and just getting used to being in a system where you hear switch, switch, and the defensive scheme is not to fight through the pick. The defensive scheme is to switch. And when you switch, you can get in trouble. And we see that happen all the time. But man, the NBA is in great hands though when it comes to scoring. Defensive schemes, I hope they get better over time. And they are much better in the playoffs. We know that. But man, hey, this is incredible to watch. Don't take this for granted. Seeing what LeBron and Steph are doing, seeing just the outrageous numbers players are putting up, let's appreciate it and not take it for granted because we expect so much from players. I want you to remember this. We saw Obi Toppin go between the legs and we did not bat an eye. We said, okay, it's just a dunk. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, that would have been insane to do. Go between the legs in the NBA game, but now he does it and it's like, okay, it's just a regular dunk. Our expectations for these players is out the roof. It really, truly is. That's why when we see them drop 60, 70, these 50-point, 40-point games, we look at it as a 20-point game and we don't appreciate the greatness that we are witnessing. We need to, though. Don't take it for granted. Do not take this for granted, man, because what players are doing on the court this season, last season, the past 5 years, it's just been phenomenal. And it's been something to enjoy. Been enjoying watching it, and just wish the defense was just a little bit better. I just hate the defensive schemes. I really, really do. I truly do.